This is for you, Taurus. Your ruling planet of Venus is going to be transiting direct through the sign of Pisces the fish, affecting your 11th house from the 1st to the 4th. And your 11th house is your friends and your reputation, how people speak of you. Now, beginning on the 5th of the month of April, the planet Venus is going to be ingressing into the sign of Aries the Ram from the 5th to the 28th. And that will influence, Taurus, it will influence your 12th house of spirituality and how you want to sort of explore your spiritual nature. And because Aries is a rather bold sign, you'll want to be more bold and you'll want it to be more exciting. However, beginning on the 29th of April, Venus will then be ingressing into, it'll go into Taurus, your own sign, and that's going to influence your first house of self and your appearances. So your social, how you want to be seen socially and how you want to behave socially is going to be changing, since Venus is a very sociable planet that rules you with all of these various ingresses. But it will be direct through these ingresses. So at least there won't be a need to go to the past, but more of a direct approach. But this is why, as you understand, some people are a little bit more consistent with the way they behave socially, and some are not. But there's other areas where Taurus is very fixed, because you're fixed Earth, of course. Now, Venus is known as the attribute of God, the morning star, found in Revelation 22:16. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you these things in the churches. I am the root and stock of David, the bright and morning star. Now, let's see how your ruling planet of Venus affects you this month, Taurus. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. Your guardian angel, the guardian angel of Earth, is the Archangel Uriel, who speaks to you from your teaching Taurus angel Asmodel. And this is an angelic horoscope transmission from your teaching angel Asmodel, who rules over your fixed Earth nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. First, we have Asmodel's love transmission for you. Okay, when it comes to love and romance, this month, Taurus, no worries. When it comes to matters of love and the heart, you've been giving of your golden heart, being always oh so patient with other people. You will get amazing rewards in the future with everything you've been promised coming to you. Good hearts, loving kindness, and heartfelt beauty all win in the end, making sure that your next life will be in an elevated status. For just as the high priest of Salem, known as Melchizedek, reincarnated as Jesus of Nazareth, so too will you come back as the Messiah, the anointed and awakened one, if you follow the ways of God that have been taught to you from your youth. Now for the money transmission from Asmodel and from the Archangel Uriel. Career success is in the bag right now, beckoning you at your very fingertips. So it's all right at your fingertips. Networking with a volley of ideas via brainstorming is the core and root of all that is abundant. The secret is that you are already living within the cornucopia of your future. Yes, that's right. Your future is now, making you the Messiah that you have been looking and waiting for. So the phrase that Uriel wants to give you this month, Taurus, for your finances and your money area is carpe diem, seize the day. And just take the bull by the horns and seize the day. Waiting too long puts you in a position where eventually nothing happens. So this is a time financially when you need to seize your opportunities financially and in the business or work or promotion arena. Now for Asmodel's health transmission with help of the Earth Angel Uriel, your health this month will react to long walks and short sprints for the time being, just for this month, and light weights with many repetitions, as opposed to the opposite kind of attempts to overdo. So rather than attempting to lift anything too heavy, and a lot. Lift lighter weights more frequently, and that's involved with everything that you're doing, whether we're talking about work, or whether we're talking about a mental exercise or a physical exercise. You want more frequency and more repetitions and lighter weights, and that will serve you better. But long walks, not so, and short sprints, not so much charging forward to where you just cannot go forward anymore. You understand the idea. Now allow yourself lots of outdoor activities, taking advantage of the splendor of April's showers. Timing is everything, and you've got to listen to your body right now. So listen to what your physical body is telling you. It's always right. Remember to hydrate, but also remember to dilute with water also, so as not to overload your system with too much sugar. Even natural fruit juices that are unsweetened can give you so much sugar that you might end up sort of favoring infections. So you want to dilute and hydrate and dilute with a lot of water so that you don't end up having too much sugar. And even in a person who's healthy, too much sugar can lead to infections in normal people. So you want to make sure this month that you take this caveat. Now this month's runestone prediction. This month we have got the runestone that presented this month for you is Berkano. However, it is Berkano reversed. Now the runestones are very spiritual. They come from the spiritual and causal natures, the higher natures, rather than the lower astral bodies. So they're very pristine. Now the message for you from this runestone reverse is an indication of denial of the value of the feminine aspect of life and nature, resulting in an emphasis on competition rather than cooperation, as well as war instead of creative endeavors practiced by society at large. So how you can prosper during this time is to be kind to the feminine aspect. Don't give in to the tendency that's going on right now to disassociate from the feminine aspect. Now this month, Taurus, we want to give you a representation of your earth angel, who is Uriel. We want to give you a representation, a three-dimensional representation. It's a Star of David in three-dimensional form. That's the hexagram of earth in the Rosicrucian Kabbalistic system. So this is a representation of the crystalline form of the Archangel Uriel, because angels are more angular in nature, and of course the smaller the angles get and the smaller the pixelations get, then they begin to be able to form curves. But the archangels are very angular, which is why they often represent as male, whereas the more you have lesser angels that have smaller pixels that make them up, then you can then begin to form feminine curves. So this is how these things are seen in the Rosicrucian Kabbalistic system. Okay, now we're going to give you a little chanting exercise for your specific Taurus divine tone, which is I have, or you can just chant having. So you can chant I have, I have, I have, or you can chant having, having, having. And you can sing if you like in your own tones, like I have, this kind of thing. You can begin to make it personal. Having, you can begin to bring it into a place inside yourself where it resonates and vibrates with you. Now this is again for the Archangel who is Uriel, who resides over all the earth signs. Now remember that high magic can be dangerous, so this is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. Now we're just going to add a little clip here regarding how you manifest either Christ risen or Christ crucified. That's also in the ancient Egyptian pantheon was Osiris slain and risen. So what we want to do is give you just a little understanding that when Christ is on the cross, the crucified Christ, and he has the thief on the right and the thief on the left, they represent the future, the fear of the future, and the regret of the past. And the crucified Christ is the moment, the crucified moment, where the eternal now, the eternal bliss of being in that still moment in paradise cannot be attained, because you're in a progressive state where you're moving, when you're using progressive words like working or thinking or being or becoming, or any of these things. Eheye Asher Eheye was sort of a stamp of creating that I am becoming, that I am becoming, not I am, or whichever word you're using, whichever divine tone you're using. That's the stationary one. But the progressive one that is becoming, Eheye Asher Eheye, that creates the situation of time, the Alpha and the Omega, which is the serpent of time, the Nefesh of time, where you have the head and the tail, and you have something before that you regret or not, and something in the future that you fear or look forward to. But still, there's that doubt, and the moment right now cannot be experienced in all its glory, because you're not in your eternal now. Now, if you want to be in your that's of course obviously Christ crucified, but Christ risen is when there is just I am, or I will, or whatever divine tone you're using of the 12 divine tones of the Zodiac. Whichever one of these you're using, that puts you in an eternal now in Christ resurrected. That's Osiris risen, Christ resurrected, and that's when he is not looking at the future or the past, but is in his eternal now stationary moment that is actually paradise. So if you want to experience eternity, you can't be looking at the future or the past. You just have to be in the eternal now, which is obviously a healthier, more blissful place to be, because it's more serene and it's more centered and it's eternal. So that's the differentiation and the distinction we want to make here. And you use whichever one that makes you feel good or bad, or makes you feel well. Now for your ephemeris information, the calculations for Eastern and Greenwich Mean Time, respectively, we have Eastern Time, that's Eastern Daylight at the moment. We have the new moon, the 7th of April 2016. We have at 7:24 a.m. We have a new moon at 8 degrees Aries, 4 minutes. The full moon is on the 22nd of April 2016 at 1:24 a.m. at 2 degrees Scorpio, 30 minutes. For London, Greenwich Mean Time, we have the new moon on the 7th, and that's the 7th of April 2016. That's 11:24 a.m., 18 degrees Aries at 4 minutes, and the full moon on the 22nd, that's Earth Day, how apropos, on 22nd of April 2016, that's 5:25 a.m. at 2 degrees Scorpio and 31 minutes. Thank you for joining us, Taurus. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel, and join us again next month.